And that's where I want to start because I think we all felt a little momentum coming out of Atlanta. You win a series, and we tune in last night, and everybody's talking about how the pitching is set. Richard Fitz going to extend him a little bit. We got Hunter Dobbins ready, and boom, right there, you're down 6-0. What is that like, that roller coaster of momentum? Is it hard for you as the face and voice of this team to kind of stay upbeat in those weird situations like that?
No, in that spot, you forget all that stuff that you said, and it's like, how are we going to get 27 outs?
Yeah.
Understanding that the bullpen has been used a lot the last 15 days, that we still have 2 more games in this series, and we still have 8 more innings to play.
Right.
So you balance everything, too, because, as you know, Fitz just came off the IL, and he made 40-something pitches. That's not great. Do we send him for 1 more inning to help get 3 outs and help everybody in the bullpen? We decided to go with Dobbins, and he did an amazing job. And then all of a sudden winning the game, right? And it's tough. Then you think about it. You're like, oh, we beat Atlanta 2 out of 3. We get home. Let's get to a good start. It didn't go. So, we got Bayo tonight. We should be okay. I think the bullpen is in a better spot, and hopefully we win and give us a chance to win the series tomorrow.
Alex, just going into these games, your pitching coach Andrew Bailey. Do you guys talk strategy and plan out what you guys want to do before games? How's that process like with you and him?
Yeah, there's a lot of meetings. Jason meets with the catchers to go over hitters and the previous game. Then Andrew and the starter with the catchers and the game planning unit. They sit down to go over hitters. What's the attack plan? How are we going to do this? First time through the lineup, second time through the lineup, and hopefully third time through the lineup. I think at the end of the day, as you guys know, in sports, right, you can have the best game plan ever, but you have to execute, right? And yesterday we had the leadoff guy on a 1-2 count. We hang a slider. It's a homer. There was a good execute sinker inside. The guy, gets inside, hits a blooper. We walk a guy. We have Mike Trout on a 3-1 count. That's not always good. So execution is something that is very important. And you don't know what's going to happen every 5 days with that specific starter. Prepare, he is. But at the end, as you know, at 7:10, 7:05, you have to do your job.
Alex, you're coming off of that series win in Atlanta, which I know meant a lot to you as well, and you get back home and the fans are excited. You're playing a team that you're expected to or favored to beat. It's a beautiful night for baseball, and I'm sure all losses hurt, but does a loss like that last night where your team shows such heart and such compete all the way through, 8 innings of 1-run baseball from your bullpen only to come up just a run short late like that, does that hurt a little bit more?
It's been hurting the whole season. It's, like I said a few days ago, yeah, we are where we are. And like Bill Parcells used to say, right, you are what your record shows, right? And we have lost 16 games by 16 one-run games, and it's one play, one pitch, one decision. Put the ball in play with man third, and you win the game. And this is our season right now. We have to be better. When you lose games by 1, you look back and it's like 1 walk and 1 stolen base, and we have to pay attention to details because it looks like this is who we are, right? We're going to play a lot of close games. So how are we going to start winning those is the most important thing. And the message is loud and clear. You have to play better defense. You have to run the bases better. You have to pitch better. We went to Milwaukee, and they play excellent baseball for 3 days. We made a few mistakes, and they took advantage of it. And look at them now. They have won 8 games in a row, and they were struggling. So I think clean baseball is very important, and hopefully we can start doing that tonight.
I could give you rankings and percentages, but I'm just going to keep it very simple. Do you guys need to throw more fastballs?
I mean, we always talk about that. And first of all, do we have good fastballs, right? That's the most important thing. It's not always, okay, Mike Trout, let's throw fastballs to him because right now he just came out of the IL. He's late. If your fastball plays. And we got a lot of information. And, let's say I'm a starter. I know my repertoire. I know which one is my best pitch. I know which one is my worst pitch. Your worst pitch, it still can play in certain areas. So you have to recognize your first the way it works, and Jason talks a lot about this, recognize yourself as a pitcher, then go over the hitter, and if it matches up, then you go to the weaknesses. If it doesn't match up, then stay with your strength. If your strength is fastballs and mine is fastballs, it's mano a mano. We have to go, right? And that's something that our guys, I think they have a pretty good idea who they are. Sometimes, they execute pitches. And I know we spin the ball a lot, and with 2 strikes, the difference between a homer or a 0-2 take is where you throw that breaking ball, and we have to execute.
Speaking just and kind of just thinking about the younger players that you have, is it harder to ask them to change fielding positions or their place in the batting lineup? How do those 2 different things kind of factor in when you're coaching young guys?
Yeah, I think the defensive part of it has to be tough. I lived it. I moved from short to second, go back to short when I was a rookie in the league. I was a good defender, but it was still a little bit tougher. The whole lineup part of it is something I'm very cautious about it, but obviously personnel-wise, this is where we at. We don't have Casas, we don't have Alex, so we have to find a way to maximize the first 5 innings and then start thinking about matchups later on. There's a reason Marcelo sometimes is hitting 4th or 5th, and when there's a righty on the mound, we bunch our lefties. We know that we have Ref at one point, maybe to hit for Willie. Now we got Romy that probably is going to hit for the middle infielder or the corner infielder. You mix and match. And we did it to KC at one point because he was hot, he's swinging the bat well, and now we have to downshift, right? Now he's hitting 8th, he's hitting 9th. Hopefully he can breathe a little bit and get that feeling again. But the lineup construction is something that we take a lot of pride because it's not only about the first 6. We're trying to maximize that, but then you start like thinking ahead, okay, this is a lefty that they have. He might come in the 7th for Jarren and Rafi. Willie's behind them. We got traffic. It's Ref, and he has to face Ref Knight in that spot.
Alex, when a player of yours has his name mentioned potentially in trade rumors, like what made headlines a day or 2 ago, that the Padres could potentially be interested in trying to pry Jarren Duran away from you guys, do you have to talk to the player? Do they come to you if they ever hear their names in the press like that? And what level of input do you have if management even comes to you about possible big moves like that?
Yeah, I mean, with the front office, I'm always in conversations, not only in the present but the future too. As far as like the rumors and all that, I work in the industry. I was in Bristol for 5 years, and I always tell them this story about Jim Bowden. We were around the training deadline, and we have these shows talking about trades and all that. We're sitting in the green room, and Jim is like, what do you think about this trade? And it was like a blockbuster move, whatever. I'm like, where you got that from? No, I just made it up. I'm like, you see, so I tell the guys that don't listen, don't pay attention to what's going on in social media and all that. Sometimes it's not real. Just keep playing baseball. That's the thing you can control, and they understand that part.
Red Sox manager Alex Cora here with us on WEEI Afternoons. I'm kind of proud of us. We've made it almost 10 minutes. We haven't mentioned Rafael Devers or first base. I feel like we're due. Okay. Ted, I'll leave first base to you. So you've been in the media. You know Boston. You know social media. Rafael Devers is seen taking ground balls.
At shortstop.
With an infielder's glove, not a first baseman. So what should I read?
With a training glove. It was a training glove.
Okay, so what should I read into that?
That's part of his preparation. Rafi hasn't been able to take grounders in a while, weather-related or traveling, all that stuff. And sometimes for him, it's good to go out there and move his feet. So, he's still our DH.
Romy comes back from being on the IL for 22 days, gets a couple ribbies last night. In a perfect world, is he your first baseman for the foreseeable future?
No, now with the way Toro has played, we'll mix and match. We'll look for certain matchups to maximize, understanding that if Romy doesn't play and there's a lefty in the middle of the game, we can use him. He can play third, he can play second, he can play first. So Where we at right now, roster-wise, we're gonna mix and match, but he'll get a few starts at first base too.
All right, since we have passed the 10-minute mark, I guess I'm in the all clear as well to ask about the obvious. Any update on Roman Anthony? Further discussions within the organization, and any shot we could see him? I don't know, maybe next week.
Roman is doing well. He's getting better. As of now, this is the roster that we have, and we're going to continue to maximize that. So, we're very proud of the work that he's putting down there. And like I said last week, right, he's not knocking at the door. He's kicking it, right? So we'll see what happens in the future.
One of those Belichickian fibs you told us recently, and we're fine with it. Bill lied to me for years, so I don't take it too personally. I bitch on the radio for 20 minutes, and then I move on. But Crochet was awesome the other day. 12 strikeouts, 112 pitches, couple starts here with 100-plus pitches. As observers, should we now get ready to say, okay, there might be a game where he's going to be limited to 80 to 90 again? How does that play out moving forward for us as onlookers?
No. Obviously, the schedule will dictate what we do, and now we get an off day every week.
Right.
So I don't think we're going to push it to 112 every single start, but in the range of 95 to 100 full start, he's a go unless he's not recovering well. And so far, so good. That's something we talk about it after the game that day, and for how frustrating it was for everybody that he went short. And we could have won that game, but maybe we don't have a shot to beat the Braves. It's this balancing act, and this for the benefit of the player, and he's feeling great, and he understood the Mets start, and he understood the Atlanta one. He really loved that one.
We did too.
From that game, Chris Sale is on the other side, and when he went out in the 8th, he looked at me. He's like, what? Like, yeah, this is where we at, kid. Things have changed since 2018.
The leadership of Garrett Crochet, is it just, the guy oozes confidence. Mm-hmm. You got to love that as a manager, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have been in the clubhouse, but the way he interacts with his teammates, I saw this in spring training, and we just traded for the guy. It's his first spring training with us. My office is very close to the video room. Whenever I walk by, it's Garrett with a reliever, Garrett with a left-hander reliever, talking about pitch sequences and grips and all that. The guy, I think throughout his career, he's been prepared for this, to be the ace of a team like us, and I'm very happy that we have him.
And Alex, just sort of like a general baseball question as well, vis-a-vis like being a manager. Obviously, it has to have changed even so much since you first started managing the Red Sox back in 2018 as well, with so much more data and input from perhaps general managers, other coaches and whatnot. Like, do you prefer it this way, where there's input from so many different sources that lead to the decisions, or do you just like it the old-fashioned way of like the baseball manager is the guy that's in charge of all those decisions?
Since 2018, we've been using medical information to dictate what we do with the rotation. We did it early in the season. We actually did it in September to prepare the guys for the cool things that we did in October. We downloaded guys, deload guys in September. There was one with Porcello that he went forward to get ready for October. So information has always been provided, and I use it, for the benefit of the team.
Just to tie up one loose end as we send you out the door, we didn't see Christian Campbell at first base. Is that done with Romy back? Will he still take ground balls there?
He'll take grounders, but we'll go with Toro and with Romy. I think it's more about the playing of Abraham that dictate what we're gonna do. Play him at second. Hopefully, get him hot. That'll be good. That will add some strength to the lineup, and if we do that, we're gonna be okay.
All right, Alex, good luck tonight. Appreciate you joining us as always.
Thank you, guys.